What's up, everybody? Austin Chevron here, your host of the Winning Twice podcast. And today I got friend of mine, Melissa Johnson, on here. And today we're just going to talk to you through our journey together, through relationships, through the struggles, through the successes, where we've met, where we're at today, and where we're going. Like just a real conversation that I want you guys to key in on. And there's going to be some golden nuggets here for you to pull out. I want you to listen closely. Listen deeply for what these are. So I want to bring our guest on, Melissa. Hello, my friend.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm very
Hello.
excited I appreciate you giving me this chance to share my story.
I appreciate you earning the right to have this chance because,
Well, thank you.
right, right. You've earned this. Now they do say rent's due every day, though.
Oh, yeah,
So
we're not done. Yeah, we're not done.
we're
We
not
just
done.
started.
We've only just, I love it when people talk to me. They're like, oh my God, look where you're at. I'm like, oh, I've just begun.
Yeah,
Oh, this thing's just because it's like every time you just wake up and you're in a new chapter, I'm like, "Oh, I'm just so happy I'm in this new chapter. And I look forward to the next one and the next one and the next one. And like, I am not even close to a finished product.
and it drives my family a little nuts because they're like, aren't you done? Like, aren't you like, when are you
Mm,
gonna start slowing things down? I'm like, oh, we just started. Like, we're
just
just
started.
started.
Yeah. Well, it's a breath of fresh air, I think, to all of us when we feel like we're on the journey and we're in the beginning, because like anything, the beginning's the most fun.
Yeah,
It's fun when you're in the beginning and you're winning and you're seeing the wins. What's exhausting is when you're on like the 23rd chapter and it's like, would this thing just be done so I can get to the next thing? Well, it's fun when you're in the beginning. So I've always enjoyed it. There was actually a movie called Motown that I remember a guy saying at the very end. He said, I wish we would have slowed down and enjoyed the journey a little bit more because we were always rushing through it.
Mm,
I mean, how true is that? Like, we're always trying to get somewhere and we're
right.
not enjoying where we're at in the times, in the struggles, in the successes. Like, what a just a fun time to be where we're at today.
Right. Yeah, and it's nice to have. I think it's what I'm enjoying about this perspective since working with you is that like I've just begun. And so I can see that treadmill of like trying to do all the things and then how like I get that perspective now. I don't have to
Mhm.
wait till the end of the movie. I get to do that now. I get to pull back
Yes.
and stop and say, "Oh my gosh, look what you just did in such a short amount of time," and all those things.
Okay, well, let's talk about not so short amount of time here. Let's talk about when we first met. Tell the
Oh,
listeners, when was
okay.
the first time that I was introduced into your world?
So you were actually introduced into my world probably about 4 years ago,
Uh-huh.
which is kind of crazy because you're in Indiana, I'm in Florida. You were in Michigan for just a little boot camp, 5-day boot camp thing. And I remember Kurt Shewell said in the very beginning, he said, I guarantee you there will be literally a third of you left by the end of
Mm.
this boot camp.
True statement.
And I was like, bullshit. Like, I'm gonna be
Mhm.
here. Like, you just challenged me. Like, I'm going to be here. And I apologize. I don't remember where in that training you were, but it really stuck out. I took tons of notes and I still have. I've gone through some that I, had to put back in the file, but there were the two. I have your wealth chart that I've had for 4 years. It's been
Mm.
looking at me for 4 years. The
What is
wealth
that?
machine.
Tell the audience what that
Okay.
is.
So the wealth machine is where you have your deposits and then you have all the different places, the different accounts that your money goes. And what you said that stuck out to me that no one has ever said is you pay yourself first.
Mm.
You pay yourself first. And then what's left over is what goes to your bills. And if you don't have enough for your bills, you might need to rethink your bills and put it around. So,
Now,
um,
Melissa said that, not me. She's the bad guy, not me. You can spend whatever you want. Not just joking. When
but
you
I've
say
been
pay yourself first, who are you talking about?
So I'm talking about, and I'm just looking at my because I'm that was
Yep.
my goal is to set up the wealth machine, and I'm not there yet. It's a progress, it's a work in progress. So it's like the dream account, the giving account, the account where I'm going to invest the money so the money is working for me. Like that is at the top of the wealth machine. And then all the bills and the other things are at the bottom. And so I
Yeah.
was living my life with the things, the bills and all of those things were at the top.
First.
And then what I had left over was savings and then spending
And
on
let me
myself.
tell you, when you pay your bills and you not it's not just bills, by the way, but when you that's the concept we have. When you pay everything everybody else first, you never have anything left over. When you pay yourself first, that's your future, your tithing, your giving, your taxes, those that's yourself. You're paying yourself first and doing those things, then you normally have all the money becomes abundant then.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
amazing.
So from that training, and I remember you were talking the things that you were talking about is how compensation, like
Mhm.
you were the highest paid compensation and it was compensation drives behavior subconsciously sometimes. And
Sometimes.
at
Yep.
that time, I was still somewhat early in my real estate career. And I remember I had one of the first listings that was right next door, and I did it for 1%. And I will tell you, that was the hardest 1% I have ever worked for in my entire life. And at the same time, then I got another listing that was paying full price. Well,
Mm.
what happened? Do you think the people with the 1% got a lot of attention? Not
No,
anymore because the people that were paying full price, like it's just human nature. So
it's
that
human
stuck out.
nature.
That was huge. And it still happens. Like I notice it that
Yeah.
so that was a big takeaway, and I looked at that quote for I don't know how long, and then the other thing that I really was kinda like, "Oh, hell no, that is never gonna happen. Who can even do that? That's just
Tell
crazy."
I know what you're talking
I
about.
know,
Tell them.
because you know what I'm looking at. That calendar, man. That life, that year calendar where you're doing the running and the resting and the like, I was like, "There's no way." Like, that's just absurd. Absurd. And it has been truly like one of the biggest, I don't know how people function without it now.
Isn't it?
Like, and I know
Like,
some other people that are like in positions that they're running hard and I'm like, and they want to plan something next month. And I'm like, no, no, we're not doing that. Like, did you look at your that's not on the calendar and that's not during your rest week.
yeah. It's okay, so tell me this in one word. What does having the year so for everyone listening, what me and Melissa do is we take a calendar, we hang it up on the wall, and it's a 4 foot by 3 foot calendar. It's not like a little dinky thing. This is the whole year that we can see. It's like art, but it's not art, it's our life. And
Oh,
tell in one word, what does that calendar do for you? In just one word. If you could just find one, what does it give
peace.
you? What
Peace.
oh my
Give
God,
me
don't you
peace.
peace.
Oh,
For me, it helps me feel calm, organized, less stress. I couldn't put a hyphen in there for it to be less hyphen stress. Does that count as one word then?
yeah, we'll give it that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, I tend through this journey, I know I'm a little bit of a control freak. Um, and I thought that I felt like the calendar was a controlling thing, meaning it was gonna control me and take away some of my control, but
Mm,
it's been the exact opposite. It's been the
mm.
exact opposite.
We were just talking, it's funny, in my last podcast, we talked about how the things in life that you think are right are actually backwards.
Yep.
And the right answer is the opposite of what common sense would tell you. And well, how could I have more money if I give it away first? Are you kidding me? How could I have more? And I just want to say, I've raised my tithing and my giving over the last 12 months. I've never had more.
It's so
I've
true.
never, I'm like, thank you, God. You just take care. I'll just keep pouring. I got faith. I'll keep pouring this out and I'll do this. And I just get taken care of in ways I can't even explain.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
that
fast
was fun.
forward. So and I've seen you, I've seen you in like you show up on our Breakfast Club calls, and I did fast track with you, the fast cap
Uh-huh.
program. So we've had a little bit of interaction here and there, and I was gonna go to EXPCon down in Miami last year, but I was doing too many things, and I'm like, my brain can't take anymore. Like I'm just not even gonna go. And
Oh, you're going all the way there right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, do
Oh,
we not? Well, this
it's
was
you.
last year.
Yeah.
So last year, um, this was the year before I did not go. And I couldn't even add anything more to my plate. But then this previous one that we
Yep.
met at.
So let me go backwards before we go there real quick, because
Okay.
that's in my notes here. So
Okay.
what I want to know, because you started, it's like you knew what my notes were here.
Oh, sorry. I did not.
No, no, it's okay. This I didn't show you these. So
Okay.
there's only one script for this, everybody, and I'm the only one that has it because it makes the conversation real and authentic then. There's no preparing with Austin.
No,
So I
no,
want to.
tell
So
me.
you train with me in the boot camp, you train with
Yeah.
me here, you train with me there. You saw me, they normally say like you got to train with someone 5 to 7 times, and you got to have 11 to 15 hours before you commit to anything. When did you commit to actually training and working with me? Do you remember that?
So yes, so it was after FastCap. You did that training, and then you offered everybody from FastCap, hey, come on in for a month, see what it's like.
Yep.
And I knew that at some point I was going to work with you. Like I did know that. Like
Why? Why?
because from all the trainings that I've been in, and this goes all the way back from when I came over to EXP. It was the one for whatever it was the pieces that resonated with me the most. It was doable, and there were things that I thought, "I can do these things. This is where I need to be. This is what I need." Wasn't
Mhm.
maybe necessarily what I wanted,
Okay,
but I
whatever.
needed it. I
Mhm.
needed it.
Okay. So you knew, so you resonate. I always say, find someone that you resonate with their morals, their ethics. They've done it before, and you can fit into their vision of what they're doing. Like you can just find a little seat on the bus for the time being.
Mhm.
And so it sounds like you resonated.
Well, and the other piece too, and you've said this before, is that, you're going to tell us whether we want to hear it or not, and you're not here
Yes, I
to make
am.
friends.
I'm
You're
not here to
here
be your friend.
that I'm gonna and I needed that. I needed someone that was gonna call me on my shit and, say look
Yeah.
and say, this is what you're doing, and you can either change it or not. I didn't need
Mhm.
anybody to like play the nice piece for me.
Yeah. And I don't think I've ever played that with you, actually.
Yeah.
What's funny is we get to our relationship today because I am my authentic self, and I've already made the decision in my life, pre-deciding. I think it's chapter 17 of my next book, by the way. Part of pre-deciding, time changes decisions. And part of time changes decisions is pre-deciding before the time hits, before me and you get into that moment of conflict, that I get to make the choice. Should I push on her or not? Which a lot of people in their mind, well, I don't want to do it. She might leave. She might not come with me. I might not, whatever. I've already made the decision. If you're in my circle, I'm going to push on you. And if that pulls you away, then leave now. Just leave now, because I'm not changing for you. Not going to do it. This is who I am. And then if you stay and you do the work, then we'll become friends later because we'll both be happy. We'll both be our authentic selves on our journey. But if not, you can get the hell out of here. I'm good. And this is who I am. And I do this out of love. It's the way I show care, is to say, hey, I'm going to step on your foot because you're stepping in shit right now. And would you get off of that? I'm,
Absolutely.
sh-
I
yeah.
definitely heard that during the boot camp. Like 4 years
Mm,
ago, like you just came out of it, like you said stuff like, stop spending your money on stupid shit. Like you need to do this or you're gonna be broke before you retire. And like, like you said all the things and you're just like, nobody has ever
oh my
spoken
God.
to me like that before. Like, okay, this is what we needed to hear.
I was talking to someone today about something, and there was financials attached to it. And I go, first of all, just let you know, I care about you, and that's why I talk to you. Just make sure you understand. And I know they know that, but I just still said it again. And then I said this. I don't think you deserve to hang out with me right now because you can't afford it and you don't deserve it. If you can't afford it, you don't deserve it. Like, that's honest. Now, if you get mad at me for that, that's on you. I'm good. Because you can't. You just told me you can't afford to do this. It's like if somebody wants to hire me to be their one-on-one coach and they're not making X amount of money. Like, you can't afford me. That's a you problem.
Right.
I'm just, you can't afford, and that's because of your decisions. It's not because you haven't earned the money. You've just spent it on other shit that you don't value or you need. And
Yep.
now you can't afford to hire me to solve your problems and to go on and do life with you. And that means you don't deserve it. You're not ready for this opportunity. So go do what you need to do. And hopefully we can circle back again. And then you might deserve it. But right now, based off of your past actions, an hour ago, last week, yesterday, last month, last year, you don't deserve to hang out with me. I'm sorry.
And I don't think most, at least in my experience, I don't think most coaches do that. I think it's run as like a money. It's part of
Yes.
it's what they do to make money. So if you leave,
They don't make money.
they don't make money. And so I
Mhm.
think that's what most people feel with you is that you don't need the money and that you truly are there to help and you're going to tell us what we need to hear whether we like it or not.
Now, it doesn't mean everybody listening here that either knows me or doesn't know me at this point. How well, it doesn't mean that Melissa, when you make your Chevron Life payment, that money doesn't go to pay for the lights and like there's still bills that I pay everybody. But because I've handled my money properly, it doesn't force me to make money decisions on if it's gone or if it stays. It was one of the best things I did in my real estate career when I sold real estate is I stopped giving people advice based off of the money I was going to make. And how I did that is I understood it's a real thing. I know it's a real thing. So then I addressed it with myself. I can't tell you how I actually did this because I don't, I'd have to break that down. But I just addressed it with myself like, hey, I'm not going to give you the advice based off of money I'm going to make. Will I make money if I sell your house? Absolutely. I'm not going to give you advice. I'm going to give you advice based off of this. Will you refer me to somebody else because I give you great advice? That's it. I'm not going to be your friend during this transaction. You might hate me during some of these parts.
But
I'm
isn't it
okay with that.
interesting? Because I have definitely taken that into my, transactions and with my people. And isn't it interesting because I feel like just like me, they appreciate it. They don't want to be sold. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I think when you tell them what they need to tell, even in real estate, like they don't like it.
Because there's the thing, am I being fooled? Am I being duped? And I
Yeah.
just want people to be real with me. And it's funny when I'm on, like, even when I'm talking to you, sometimes I'll tell you, I'm putting my coaching hat on right now. And now
Yeah.
I'm putting this, and I'll tell you when I switch these hats so you can hear my different voices and languages I'm using. So you're not confused. Like, he just said this, but now he said this. And well, it's because it's a different hat and that hat has different pieces of advice.
Yeah.
And I always try to let people know, hey, when I say this stuff, if you don't like what I'm saying, it's probably one of two reasons. One, I didn't present it well, which sometimes I don't present everything the best way. My wife's always like, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. I'm like, you're right. I could have said that differently. On me, all good. Okay. That is one. I don't say it the right way, maybe. But really what it is I'm people's mirror and I just reflect back in the mirror what they are, and they don't like it. They don't like to see their bank account. They don't like to see their health. They don't like to see their business. They don't like to see when someone's like, well, Austin, it's not happening. I said, well, how many proactive calls you make yesterday? Well, I didn't make any yesterday because of how many did you make the day before that then? And they're like, oh, it's always got to be about, I'm like, see, it's just the mirror.
Yeah.
And my job is to help. I mean, I'm really here now on earth to just help everybody else become better. And my dad told me in the very beginning, Melissa, he goes, you know, you're only able to help like at most 5% of these people. 5%. He goes, that's all because 50% doesn't want your help
Mm.
at all. When you come in, here's what I've learned, Melissa. When you come in and try to help people and they don't want it, it's not a good chemical reaction that happens.
Right.
Mhm. So then out of the other 50% that's left, What's the chance that someone's actually going to take the work, do the work, and be grateful? Um, I was telling Julie earlier that I said, it's funny when I give some people advice, I get yelled at, like my family.
Yeah.
And then when I give other people advice, they pay me $50,000 a year for it and tell me thank you. It's just because I'm working with the wrong crowd. That crowd's not asking for it. So that leads me to my next question here is you committed, you got into Chevron Live, you worked through Chevron Live, you were there with me, right? Do I got you back?
Do you have me back now? Can you hear
I
me?
do.
Oh,
I
good.
do. I
Okay.
got you back. I got a little bit of an echo, but I think am I good? I'm good. Okay. So you
That's all.
committed. What
Yes.
did I don't get mad at technology. I mean, you're in Orlando and I'm in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We're just lucky I can see you and hear you, right? Okay, this is a good lesson for everybody here. There's a choice right now that we could complain that something's not working, right? You get a choice. Anytime your expectations are not met, you get one of two choices in life. You can either complain when your expectations aren't met, or you can be appreciative of something. It's your choice. And what you choose will determine how you see life. And when people get mad at technology because your sound just turned off because something happened and something happened, who knows?
Right.
Or you could say, you know what? 200 years ago, people didn't have this technology.
2 years ago.
And I am just so happy that we're able to share this. And if there's a little bump or something in the road, all good.
Yeah.
I'm just appreciative that we had this opportunity. And that quick change of that lens, Melissa, completely will shift people's lives. And every time you complain about something, it's because there's an expectation not met. Think about this is coaching work for you. Next time you complain about your kids, about your husband, about this, about that, I'm
Well,
married
then
and have
well, then you know what
it's
happens.
it's an
And you start looking
expectation,
for everything else that stinks, and it
it's
just
an
snowballs.
expectation not met.
Yep.
And or we can be appreciative that we have kids because some people don't. We're going to be appreciative that we've been married. How long you been married?
30 years.
My God, she's not that old, everybody. She got married when she was 11.
No, I didn't. Oh, no, isn't that crazy? Almost
I'm
30
just
years.
appreciative. I've been married for 18 years.
Yeah.
And so good little lesson there in the audio glitch.
Yes.
Okay, let's
All right.
transition here to the next thing. So
Yeah.
you started working with me in Chevron Live.
Yes.
Okay. And that started in March or April of 2025, let's say.
Yes. Right
Okay.
after Fast Cat.
Yep. But it took you 6 months to surrender. So for the first 6 months, she was just playing. She was playing around. She was in, she was learning, she was doing, but she wasn't all in. Tell me about that all in moment.
I think I thought I was all in. I really do.
I think
And
that
I
I
think
thought that I thought that I was
I
wrong.
thought I
And
was, but I think from what I so here's been the thing that I have surrendered is that I have a tendency to want to do things my way. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do this coaching thing, and oh, I like what he's saying here, and I'll do it. I'm going to do it, but I'm going to put my twist on it, and I'm going to do it like this because I want to do it my way. And I think it didn't work. And yeah,
or time out. So I yesterday I gave my time. I saw some people were doing money puzzle book clubs. And I get these random posts online that says, "Oh, we're doing this book club." I have no clue who these people are, but it's kind of cool now to see that. Oh my God, these people are reading my book. They're implementing my book. And what I
and
want to
then
do, I want to give.
yeah,
They're like, "Hey, if you're in, I'm in." So then I sent them back a message. I said, "Hey, when you complete this book, if you complete it and you leave me an Amazon review, I make them jump over a hurdle before I get involved. If you do these things, I'll come in and I'll come and I'll Q&A the book with you." And so yesterday I was Q&A in the book, and one of the guys is like, I was listening to him talk. I'm like, "What do you do with this?" And I asked him a question, literally one of the things in the money puzzle. And he goes, "This is what I do. And I go, stop. I was like, what do you mean? I've never met this guy in my life. He's never heard me. He doesn't know me. He only read my book. And I said, stop. I go, don't do that. He goes, why? I go, okay, just let's put common sense out there for a second. Do you think I have more money than you? He goes, oh, absolutely. I go, okay. And I wrote exactly how I got all my money and how I kept it and all. I wrote all about it. You just read it. He goes, absolutely. I go, then why would you not take what I did and make it better and make it yours? Why are you trying to make your own shit up? I go, you might be successful, but you probably won't. And if you are, it's going to take you a decade. Just take my shit. I wrote it all down for you. Take this, do it, make it better. And when you make it better, I got 2 requests. He goes, what's that? I go, let me know what it is. I'll be a proud teacher then. And then go share it with everybody else. And your successes will go way up compared to you saying, well, I got to do it my way. You don't even know what your way is.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think for me, I think I thought I was doing it your way. I really thought that. I really did. I know, I know, it's very comical. But I really felt like, okay, I mean, I'm not gonna do the calendar because that's, who does that? So it was like I was doing it a little bit your way, but
Yeah.
not all the way. And, I think I was trying to do too many different things. Like, well,
Yeah.
this worked for this person, this worked for this person. So I was like doing the meshing them all and not just,
And that doesn't necessarily work, unfortunately, because here's why you've learned it. Like my systems, there's like 7 to 10 main components around my systems with life, business, financials. There's these components. And if you don't have all these components, you might not get the same result because you're missing a vital piece. It'd be
yeah,
like trying to say, you as a human being, you're going to go do all this stuff, but I'm going to take away the water from you, or I'm going to take away sleep from you, or I'm going to take away money. It's like, no, I need all these things. That's these components. And if you do it your way, you're going to grab 2 of mine and then you're going to take somebody else's 2, but no one's analyzed how do those 2 things go together? And how do they serve the full? And unfortunately, what you're going to learn is most people don't know what the hell they're talking about because they're trying to say, right? Like, let's start there. Most people have no damn clue what they're, even the ones selling you shit, they don't have a clue. They've never done it. It hasn't worked out for them that well. But you're buying shit because they're selling it to you.
yep,
And I hate to say that, but that's the reality. I lived through it. I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into education just to find out that person's a loser. Oh my God. I thought they were amazing when I saw them on stage and then I paid them $40,000. They're a loser. I want nothing to do with anything that they say. That's all bullshit.
yep, yep.
It's probably one of the biggest pieces of feedback I get is you're authentic, which is weird for me to hear. Like, well, what else would I be? Like, what?
Well,
What? But I get that a
um,
lot. Like, you're authentic.
yeah. And I
I
think
like,
people feel it. I do. I think,
I,
and that's what I got out of that first boot camp. Literally, it was you were on a Zoom. It wasn't even like we were in the same room. It was a Zoom that was
yeah.
done with a ton of technical difficulties.
I yes. So okay, so you came into live and then you took it to a point where like, I need a little bit more than this. Do you remember that moment where you're like, could you come into my life for 3 hours we had? Now that was the minimum. That was the contractual amount of time, but there was a lot more than that.
Yeah.
And tell me about that turning point moment and what we did and what you saw in what we did, please.
So so I think it was that the taking it all down to the foundation. Because I think, I had a very high skyscraper. Like, my business was doing okay, but it was not there was no foundation. And I think what I had to do is literally take all the fancy stuff out and literally, like, it's down to a notebook. It's a notebook.
Yeah.
It's a note I mean, if you saw my notebook, my tracker, like, it's a notebook with sticky notes. That is one sticky note that I send to my person every night saying, "This is what I did."
Yeah.
It's nothing fancy. It's
We
not
took it.
all of the yeah.
It's funny, a lady named one of my favorite clients that I remember a lot with, her name's Tracy Pneumonis out of Jersey. Tracy, if you're listening, hello, my friend. I remember her saying once, she's like, you know what happened? It was like when Sandy, I think, was a hurricane that came through. She gave this analogy. She goes, Sandy came through and just completely wiped out everything. And she goes, we had to rebuild from the foundation. She goes, that's what you help us with, is to take that foundation and rebuild it. And people normally aren't, their egos are too big. Their problems aren't great enough yet. They're not humble enough, which is part of the ego, and they're not all in and willing to sacrifice to take it back down to that foundation. But once you do, it's amazing.
Well, and I think, I think the part that's hard for some people, and this is where you're like, it can't be that easy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is just too simple. This is just too simple for this to work. We need, all the, things that we get sold over and over of like, you need this fancy CRM that's going to send out all these emails and all these things. And literally it's so simple that it just, and when I say simple, doesn't mean it's easy, but it
Yeah.
is simple.
It is simple. It's back to the basics and all those things. I think what people forgot, because real estate has progressed so fast and I mean, when I got in real estate, I remember them going to the offices to get the keys to go show the properties.
Right.
And it's progressed. So, I mean, they'll probably have hologram lock boxes here in 5 years that you just imagine the key there. You have to imagine the bee flying into the flower and then the word boom. And next thing you know, a hologram lockbox appears.
Right.
Who knows what technology is going to do one day?
Yeah.
But it's progressed so fast that I think we've lost the basics, and we think the basics are all the technology and the advanced things today. Were really the basics. This is what I did. Just let everybody, you know how I prep for this? I take a piece of paper and I just write down my thoughts on it. And then I talk about half of the stuff. And I use pen on blank paper
Yep.
that I get from a printer. And I just write. And so what happens is all this fancy stuff where I think we get lost, Melissa, is we think the fancy stuff is now the base and then everything else. And it's like, no, this stuff is not needed. It's a luxury. If you want to sell real estate, I'll give everybody a tip real fast here. If you want to sell a lot of real estate, and by the way, I ran one of the top teams in the country, production per agent, and we built it 100% off of Sphere. If you want to run a big business, get into relationships with people daily.
Yeah. I was just
Eh,
gonna say that. Like, I was just gonna say, like, it's taking the real because
Tell
I
us.
think well, I think the technology and all the fancy bells and all the email things that go out automatically and all those things, it has taken the human piece out of it. And when I started implementing, like, truly getting deep into relationships with people, like, I can't tell you, like, the life simple phone calls where people are crying because I reached out to them. They're like, and I'm like, is there anything I can do to help? They're like, just keep checking on me. Just keep
Mm,
checking on me. Like, yeah, how does that, like, there's no way that person is going to ever think of anybody else. And all I did was call them. I didn't do
yeah.
anything fancy. I didn't send them a fancy email with all the things. It was literally, it's a handwritten note and I get a text at least once or twice a week and this is what I love. They're like, "You have no idea how much I needed this right now."
Mm,
Like, the timing of your card was so perfect. And then, it's like, so, like, the things that you're doing in the foundation and the relationships, it's bigger than just buying and selling houses. Like, we're
yeah.
changing lives through the relationships and through caring for people and really being like you are the authentic person.
So you hired me to coach you one-on-one.
Yep.
I came in like a tornado and ripped everything right down. You're like,
Um,
look at this nice little house I got, and I got this, and I got this garden. I'm like, done. We're taking this shit back down to the base. But I love this,
100%.
but I build it. I'm like, yes, but it's not built right. Let's build this thing the right way and make it last forever. So we tore it down.
Yep.
We got it. We got the base. We come into live and Chevron Live. We added lead generation with accountability to it this year, which is, I
Huge.
know the value of it. I was just afraid to commit. I
Yeah.
mean, I know that I was afraid to commit. And so we did that with you. Your goal's 30. Is it
28 a
32?
week. Yep,
28 a
28 a
week.
week.
So
Yep,
don't you love how I think it's 30?
I
'Cause you
do.
know what that means? That means you've been doing more because I watch you and track you. So you set a
Well,
goal of 20. What is 20? Tell them what does 28 mean a week to you? What is that?
so it's 7 people a day, and it means that I am reaching out, talking to people as and, like, literally finding out what I can do to help them.
7 a day.
Seven.
For someone that seems horribly hard, and for other people, it's like, it's only 7 a day. What's been
It
the reality over the last 4 months of doing this?
So 7 a day to start?
Yep.
Oh,
How
oh,
many
that was
days a week? How many days a week?
well, so my goal is 4.
Uh-huh,
Goal is 4. Doesn't
uh-huh.
always happen every week. Sometimes I
Yep.
gotta play a little catch up on Friday, Saturday, but by
Yes.
Saturday, like, that number is done.
Yep.
But here's the beauty of it, and this is why, I don't even wanna say it out loud yet. I'll let it just organically happen. But as you start doing this, like, the 7 a day was so hard. Oh my gosh, it was such a challenge. I mean, yeah, it was definitely work.
Sure.
But as you do it, the beautiful part is that now, like, it just happens so freely. Like, the conversations, and you see people, and because your mind starts going like, "Oh, there's a person.
Yeah, oh,
They're
right
alive.
there.
They have a breath." Like, "Oh my gosh, let me just talk to you because I need 2 more people, or I'm gonna have to send somebody some
Uh-huh.
money," because that was my
Yeah.
accountability.
And
So, you
and
it just
how did we get to 28? That's based off of your vision,
my
correct?
my how what my salary, like, what I wanna make for that year.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what we did, everyone, just to hear this, and because this is how the formula works, Melissa has to have a vision for her life. And then we have to have a vision for what she needs to earn this year to help it build into that. And then we have to say, based off of where I live in my market and my numbers, it's a math problem. Here's what I need to do daily. And now the beautiful part about working with me is we do it 4 days a week, not 5, not 6, 4. Now, does she work Saturday, Sunday, Friday? Yeah, maybe. But let's plan on achieving our goals 4 days a week. And then how many weeks a month?
3.
3! Oh my god,
Mhm.
who wouldn't sign up for that?
Oh,
And you know
oh
what's
my
funny? That's only 12 days out of the month that I'm asking you to be a business owner and do the most important thing in your business, which is lead generation. 12 days out of the entire month, and most months have like 30 days,
yeah.
which is
And
one
here's
third.
And here's the beautiful part of it is, and then because I'm going on this is like 4 weeks of solid, or 4 months of solid, like, doing the run, like, sticking to
Yes.
it. And it's so funny because when I get to the end of the rest week, I'm like, "Oh my god, that went by so fast."
I know.
It went by way too fast.
And
And then it's like, but this last like, this month, like, we're getting ready to have a gather and focus next week.
yes, it's
And
gone.
I'm like,
It's already there.
oh, it went by so fast. And now I'm like, okay, you got to run. We got to run a little harder. And I don't know that you can truly, it's almost like you can't explain it until you experience it.
And you
And
know,
you've got to
it's
put it in motion and
yes.
feel it, because I never in a million years would have thought that this calendar would have been so life changing.
Ah, and you know what's funny about the whole thing? It's the week I get back, I'm ready to rock and roll. I just gotta stay organized. It's the key.
Yes.
And then the week before I leave, I only got a couple more days. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, Austin. And so it's really just managing the 1 week in the middle. That's all it is. If we can properly manage the 1 week in the middle, I know nature coming out of the gate, I'll be strong because I just had a rest week. And I know going right before the rest week that I got to get my shit done. So I'm
Yep.
managing 1 week. And if I can manage that week properly, you just crushed that month. And actually, you do that enough times, your business is probably doubled, would be my guess. And
It's insane. Like, you wouldn't even believe my numbers. Like, because we were talking about it during the live. And so I went back before today, and I'm like, let me just go back and make sure that I'm not, like, inflating these numbers a little bit. Like, let me just make sure I counted it correctly. And I was like, no, this is what I've got. Like, it's unbelievable.
mm,
Unbelievable.
Okay, so let's take this to the very end. Let's wrap this up, but I want to
Okay.
wrap it up with not completely yet, but I want to know, where's all this going for you? So you go do this for a year, 2, 5, or 7, like what's the next phase for Melissa look like?
What I really I would have what would is because what I think you have instilled in us, and it's always kind of been at my heart anyway because I'm a teacher, is like I look at people that are around me and I'm like, "Oh, if they could just have this. Like
Mm,
this would change their life." So like now I know like I get the impact word that you shared with us, that that's your word, and I get it. Like,
mhm.
that's where I wanna go next. I want to impact more people because this has been such a huge life-changing experience, not only for me, but for my family. And it's funny because I see on Instagram, I see people making jokes about the agent that's up at 12 o'clock at night showing, requests, and the
Yeah.
one that's on the spring break vacation and they're on their phone, and I'm like, "That's not funny." It's not
Yeah.
funny. It really isn't funny, and it's sad, and we need to stop glorifying that we work 24/7 because, like, I don't want a doctor who works 24/7. I don't want them,
Mhm.
and we're working with
Doing
people's biggest assets of their life, and you're working at midnight? And
yeah.
I think we need to stop glorifying that you're a good agent if you work 24/7.
Yeah.
So
And
that's where I go with that.
that's a
Um,
whole problem within itself. But
yeah.
one thing I said last week to somebody, and I like this. I go, and it's a true statement. Like if if I go to the beach right now, because I'm in Indiana, I don't have a beach around me. So if I go to the beach and I'm working, I'm like, this is better than working in Indiana. This is I'm underneath the umbrella. I might have a drink with an umbrella in it, and I'm making a phone. Like this is better than working in Indiana. But you know what's better than that? Not working on the beach. That's what's better than that. So I
Yep.
start thinking, I'm like, okay, this life is good, but it's not the best life. And
Mm-mm.
and if this is supposed to be my vacation and it's not, and the one that suffers the most is your family, by the way. I just had one client go to Disney. This is cool. She just went to Disney. And I said, hey, when you get back, I got one request. She goes, what's that? I go, I want your two boys to give you a grade. And so they literally wrote her a paper and put a grade on it and put why they gave her the grade. And this lady owns her own brokerage. She's everything to everyone. She's an amazing woman. And they literally, her kids gave her a grade. I won't share the information, but it was
Mhm.
pretty cool then to say, she's like, this is what I work on with you. I work on how does your work affect your family? Because they both gave her a grade. And then I can go to her and say, is this what you want out of your life? Positive or negative? Is this what you want? If it's not, then let's keep working on it. Let's keep thinking. Let's keep growing. Let's figure it out. Or if it is what you want, good job. How do we maintain it and keep it? And then, as you said, how do we teach it to other people?
Yeah.
Because you went from teacher to real estate agent. I think I can get you back to a teacher one day.
Yeah.
Okay. But there won't probably be a salary for it. Just to let you know, you'll get to do it for free
That's
because you
okay.
want to,
I
because
want
it's
to.
who you are and it's what you do. And
Yeah.
isn't that what it's about? So,
It is
well, my friend, our time is up. Wasn't that fun? That was quick.
so much fun. It went by so fast.
That was
And we
quick.
didn't even
Well,
barely touch the surface. Like there's
we
so but you
no,
got more.
I got more questions. Well, maybe we can save them for next time. But for next time,
Oh,
I do have one request. If
yes.
we do this again, my request is that you keep growing so you can share your
Oh, of
success.
course.
I know, but I still have requests.
Okay.
Just keep growing so we can come back and give everybody an update. Here's where I'm at now. Here's what this has looked like from running this system for this long time. Here's the next thing that I added that I heard him say 4 years ago. I didn't even realize what he was talking about. And then we can keep sharing with everybody, because at the end of the day, that's what the journey's about. You learn,
100%.
you fail, you do, and then what works is you share. And I think that's what makes this whole thing go around. So, Melissa,
Yeah.
thank you for your time today
Thank
on the
you.
Winning Twice podcast. Winning twice is winning in life and business.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
that's how we come up with winning twice. So thank you for your time. Thank you, my friend.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me.